Whenever a model has modifiers on it, pressing Q will offer Everscroll inside of the main menu. Everscroll offers a variety of ways to scroll through various troubleshooters on your mesh. Just general clicking will take you through Boolean, shift clicking will take you through modifiers, control clicking will take you through child objects, and alt clicking it will simply perform a smart apply. So if we left click it, we can see that I'm able to begin scrolling through the particular booleans that comprise this mesh. In fact, I'm even able to press A in order to choose which ones I want to keep appended to the selection after this. If I were to want to make fine edits like this one, I could select, go in and adjust the amount of bevel after the fact. So it's just a quick way to just grabbing your booleans if needed, in addition to, of course, being able to go in Hops tool and just hold control and roll over the dots until you find the particular object that you want to bring back and then click. So there's always more ways than one in order to perform the operation that you're intending to do. However, Everscroll also has modifier scroll, where you can begin scrolling through it just by shift clicking Everscroll. It'll allow you to begin scrolling through modifier scroll. One of the cool things about modifier scroll is that if you were to disable the render visibility of one of the particular modifiers, it actually omits it from being terminated before the scroll. So now you see I'm able to scroll through it and they're showing up with symmetry. So sometimes if I'm trying to just make a very good scroll, I want certain modifiers to just be overridden. So sometimes I'll just override them for just a moment and then of course turn them back on. But one of the other features that was a new addition to Everscroll is the ability to auto scroll. So if we jump into modifier scroll, we can press shift space and that will allow you to begin basically auto scrolling, and rolling the wheel up and down will change your interval time between the cuts. So now I have the lowest possible interval time, just allowing these cuts to really just flow in there. In fact, I'll select another piece and we'll just run a auto scroll on that as well. Just let it scroll in. And one of the interesting things about Everscroll at this time is that if you press tab, it jumps into an expanded mode. One of the first things we wanted to do for this particular update is add a play button so users could actually go in expanded mode and just click on the play button. So just to kind of recap on this is that you can access Everscroll from the main menu, but this also exists as part of operations under modifier scroll. So if you just come to operations and click on modifier scroll, it will open into an expanded version of modifier scroll where you can do all sorts of things. I mean, right now I'm just showing how you can go through and use auto scroll. However, we can also expand the help and see what sort of options we have. And the fact that these change colors whenever we highlight over them means that we can actually click them. So I can click the hotkey of auto scroll and actually stop the scroll. And I could even just continue scrolling through this manually. In fact, I'm going to scroll till I get to the point that I want. Another interesting thing about Everscroll using it in this expanded mode is that with these checkboxes, you can apply very particular modifiers, but shift clicking will apply all the modifiers leading up to that modifier. So if I want to apply from here to here, all I have to do is just shift click on this arrow and every modifier is applied except for the last two that you see me scrolling through here. So if we right click, we cancel all that applying we just talked about, but just letting you know that there's now a play button inside of the expanded mode of modifier scroll Everscroll. So with this file, notice on the side that I'm in collection 1, and there's another collection, collection 2, that has my cutters, and then there's collection 3 that contains inserts. Whenever you add an insert using KitOps, it actually gets placed into the inserts collection of KitOps. This isn't anything against KitOps, it's just the way that KitOps works. However, if I were to press 1, I would be isolated collection 1, collection 2, and then collection 3. So in order to work this way, I have to press 1, and then I press 3, and then I have collection 1 and 3 enabled at the same time. Normally in HardOps, I would use something called unify in order to make everything come to the same collection. So now everything's actually unified to the same collection. However, let's actually undo that and set it up back the way that it was, because the situation at hand is that if we were to go into Everscroll and we begin scrolling through booleans, we see that we're able to scroll our booleans. However, the solid objects of this layer that are not part of this collection are gone. And this is something that can be a little bit daunting and also confusing to new users. It's a bit of an oversight on our part, and I'm happy to announce that it's finally been resolved. If I right click and cancel it, we see that we're back to where we were with our standard visibility. But even with modifier scroll, notice that basically the solid object from the other collection disappears, and this is something that we didn't want happening. So if we minimize this, we're now back into the 3.0 version of Blender using the latest version of HardOps. And if we jump into Everscroll, we see that we're able to scroll through booleans now, and the solid objects no longer disappear. In fact, the same thing goes with modifier scroll. We go through modifier scroll, we see that the solid objects remain. And basically this means that we could use something like Autoscroll along with modifier scroll and solid objects from KitOps inserts don't disappear, and we don't have to worry about their visibility being triggered off. So I apologize for anyone that this may have affected, but I'm happy to announce that now Everscroll will keep solid objects visible.